Okay, guys, welcome. It's good to see everyone today. Welcome to our Saturday wealth creation course. I want to acknowledge everyone that's here. So I said hi to most people. I see Sam just joined in as well. We've got Nathaniel. So we do one of these courses twice a month. So I'm Jerry Fetta. If you don't know me, I'm the owner, founder, and CEO of Wealth Dynamics. And every month we do these courses, and a big part of this is sharing financial education, right? Sharing financial education. And the reason is we can all agree with the fact that money is a big part of life, right? Who else is like me? Show of hands. Who else is like me where you were kind of rudely awakened with that experience, right? You weren't necessarily thinking with it. And then you were like, I guess I have to have a job and I have to pay for college somehow. And I've got a car payment now and I've got to, and you kind of, get thrown into it. And there's not a lot of hatting, training, or teaching that gets put on your financial stuff. Like, how do I earn income? How do I budget? Sam, did you ever have anything like that where you got taught, like actually taught and trained on these things early on?
Oh, no, 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 not at all. It was trial and error.
Yeah. And here's the thing, guys. Who knows who Zig Ziglar is? Anyone heard of Zig Ziglar? Show of hands. Okay, a couple people. Okay, good. So Zig Ziglar, he is a legendary motivational speaker, and he has a quote, and he says, "Money might not be everything, but it's right up there with oxygen." Right? And so I want you guys all to imagine, as we start this course off today, what would life be like if no one ever told you about oxygen? Think about this. What would life be like if you weren't aware that you were supposed to breathe? Right? If you weren't, if you're feeling, like you're gonna suffocate, all you need to do is go or let the air out. Like that's how difficult it would be. Or what if no one ever taught us about gravity? Like, hey Sam, you can't jump off tall buildings because you might break your leg. Right? There was never anything like right. So think about that, and then think about how much of your day-to-day life does interact with money. Right? For me, it's most of it. If I want to have fun with my fiance and our son, basically costs money. If I want to buy something nice for my dog, it's going to cost money. If I want to advertise for my business, it's going to cost money. Right? So the reason I want to open with this is to get on the same page about this is something all of us should know about. Right? Show of hands again. Who believes money should have been taught about in school? Okay, you can hit the raise hand button. Right? We should see all hands up on this one, right? It's something that should have been taught in school. Who else agrees when you learn how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, if they would have just put a dollar sign in front of it, you would have been a lot more interested in math. Right? That's something that for me, 100%, I would have been like, okay, now we're talking. I can understand why we're figuring these numbers out now. Right? So that's kind of what we're talking about. And I want to share with you guys my story here in a little bit. Before I do that, I want to put the stream up for our attendees on social media. While I do that, Sam, could you give a quick introduction on who you are and what you do with the company and clients?
Absolutely. So I am Samantha Estalayo, or Sam. I oversee the delivery of all of our services as well as quality control. And you were talking about training, Jerry, and I also oversee our university and the courses on there, the media, and if anyone ever needs help, I'm the person you can reach out to, along with my husband, Kevin. We work together in the training area specifically. And any questions about services, ongoing, anything like that, I am the person to talk to.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Sam. And guys, one of the reasons why I really like having Sam on these webinars is she does interact with and speak to clients basically all day, every day, right? And so a lot of the tactical questions, what can happen is you watch a webinar. Okay, show of hands again. I like doing the interaction thing. Show of hands again. Who has ever gone to an event or a webinar and been like, I'm very motivated, I'm very excited, and I have no idea what to do? Anyone ever experienced that? Right? It's not fun. Sometimes it's confusing, right? So Sam is someone that actually does interact with clients on a regular basis. And it's very important for her to know who's on this webinar so that she can connect with you, right? Now, we recently did a survey. We do a lot of communicating with our clients. I've got several books I've published. we did a survey with about 1,300 people who purchased one of my books, right? Example is my book, How to Create Wealth. Okay, so we did a survey with about 1,300 people, and what we found was, okay, a lot of people, when they purchased the book, they were interested in it. They started reading it. Some, they finished it, some didn't. But what we noticed was everyone wanted to know, how do I apply what I learned? Mm-hmm. Right? Now, most people were in a position where they were like, I want to learn more. I want to learn how to implement this. I'm not quite ready to talk to someone. Right? I'm not quite ready for help, right? And it's a little bit like when you go to the grocery store or any store. Who else does this? If you come in and they're like, hey, how can I help you? And you're like, oh, no, I'm just browsing. And the truth is you're there for a very specific reason. Like you're looking for something, right? I do this all the time. I'm probably the number one culprit of this, right? I'm never browsing. Like I know exactly what I want, and I'm just not able to find it, fast enough for the person not to bother me, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that might work with protein powder or socks or buying milk, right? It doesn't quite work with finances, right? And so our goal today is to do a couple of things. Number one is, if you're not yet a client, we want to educate you to the point where you realize, okay, this is something that I think can help me, right? We're not here to sell you anything you don't need or want. We want you to be like, okay, I think that this can help me, and I'm going to take a first step to test the waters out. Mm-hmm. Right? That's our entire goal today, right? From there, you can decide, okay, this sounds legit. I think I trust these guys. I think they could definitely help. And now I want to talk with someone and maybe get some more in-depth consultation and stuff, right? So that's our big goal today. And then we're going to be covering finance basics, and we're going to be covering finance advanced concepts. Right? A couple of ground rules I always like to lay down before I start every course. I want you to have in your mind right now, take a moment and pause. What is your reason for being here today? What is your purpose? It's Saturday morning, right? Or afternoon, right? You could be out doing other things, and instead you're here on a webinar with a bunch of strangers learning from me and Sam about finances. Right? So I want you to think about, why are you here today? What are you wanting to get from this survey? Right? Or sorry, not from the survey. I was thinking survey. I mean course, right? What am I wanting to get from this course? And then I would like you to post it in the chat. Okay, post it in the chat, short sentence. Let me know what it is you're here for. I see learn, learn, learn. Okay, good. If you guys could be specific on what you would like to learn about. And the reason why I'm doing this is this gives me and Sam specifics to cover to meet the exact things that you're focused on today. Right? There's a whole world of finances that we can talk about. Right? There's a whole world of things we can dive into. We want to dive into the stuff that matters to you guys this afternoon, right? So if you could post that in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it, okay? The other thing is, this is a digital event, okay? So anyone that's ever been to a real event, you know that part of the real event excitement is what? It's the energy, it's the connections, it's the networking, it's all these people coming together to learn and learning and being excited about it. And so when I go to events, I love that aspect. On a virtual event, we have to create that ourselves. Mm-hmm. Right? Sam, what are some examples of how we could create that in this event today?
Definitely people posting in the chat, making it as interactive as possible. At the end, if anyone has questions, miking up and, telling their story, asking whatever questions they want, and just keeping it very interactive. Good.
Good. Those are all perfect examples. So guys, do those things today, please. I want to just really encourage you, communicate with us, ask questions, let us know what's on your mind, right? Now, the final point on this is our goal is to help you, right? My firm belief is that if I give you information and you don't act on that information within 24 hours, you lose it, right? So here's a bit of my story, right? And I'm going to share mine. I want Sam to share hers briefly as well. Guys, I grew up poor. Right. So, I have this business now. We help people with wealth. I do investing and all this great stuff. I did not grow up that way. I did not grow up with a knowledge on finance. In fact, I probably was in a deficit. I didn't even have an example of someone I could look at. Right. So, when I was 8 years old, all in the same summer, my mom and dad got divorced. We lost the house. The car got taken away, and I was homeless on my mom's side and my dad's side. For the summer. At my dad's house, we were tent camping, I thought. And it turns out we didn't have a place to stay. We were living in a tent for the entire summer. right? When you're 8, you don't know that that's not just camping, because there's not like this. You just see the camping, you're like, oh, that's awesome. You don't realize there's not a house you could ever go back to, right? And at my mom's house, we were living in a dry camper behind somebody's house, right? And there wasn't electricity, there wasn't water. It literally was just a camper in the yard behind someone's house, right? Now, here's the thing is, as I started growing up, I actually had a disdain for money, right? My family got split up over money. The roof got taken away from my head over money, right? I ate disgusting foods, like things that aren't healthy for me because of money. The car got taken away because of money. All these problems. My mom and dad would fight, like in the house, they would yell and scream at each other, and it was over money. And I remember every single time it was usually related to finances. And what that led me to was making the decision at the age of 17 or 18, I realized that the US dollar is not backed by anything. So I made the decision, if it's not backed by anything, I'm not going to work for it. Like, why would I trade my time for Monopoly paper? Right? Who's had that thought? Let's be honest. Who's had that thought when you realize this is bogus? Right? Like, why are we working for paper? And so I made that decision, and within 12 months, I was in poverty. I was homeless again. Okay, I was newly married. We were living with my mom for about 6 months. That ended, and when that ended, the result of that was I was sleeping in an abandoned house with my newlywed wife at the time, and we didn't have anywhere else to go. Right? And so, it's like the Ruffles chips, like you can't just eat one. It's like homelessness, you can't just do it once. But basically that was the story. And so when I did that and I finally realized, like, this money thing is not going to go away. It's not going to go away. Like, I can try and avoid it, and the solution to that is homelessness, and I tried that twice. And even then we still needed money for food. Right? So the money thing is not going to go away. And so then I decided, well, I'm going to learn about money. Right? Which is a good decision. I was like, I'm going to learn about money. And my way of doing that was I actually became a financial professional. I became a financial advisor. I got my insurance licenses, my investment licenses, and I started learning about Wall Street. I started learning about investing. Right? What better way to master something than to become a professional at it? Right? And so here's my story from there. I'm 18, 19 years old. My mom is my first client. And we do the whole thing we're taught to do, right? So I'm working with her. I'm like, hey, you need to start investing. We're going to build up your nest egg. When you turn 60, you can start withdrawing money from these accounts. So she had some money. She sold the house that we grew up in, had some money. She put it in a retirement account with me, right? We did all the right things. The account grew. I remember meeting with her for her annual review, and she was so excited. My mom turned 60, and she gets diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And 6 months later, she's dead. And I realized that this deferment theory doesn't work. Putting life off till you're 60, building up the nest egg. What if you don't live that long? Right? And you don't get to enjoy it. And I realized that my mom, she put off a lot of things. She put off a lot of her life because she was doing that game. Right? Now, here's the rules to that game is you have to wait till you're 59 and a half. Then you can start withdrawing the money. The number one fear of a retiree is running out of money before they die. Mm-hmm. Right? Nobody wants to run dry before they've passed away, and then they have no money and they're a liability and a burden to their family. That's the number one fear of every retiree. Okay? The number two fear of every retiree would be dying before you got to enjoy what you built. So you have a barrier here, you have a barrier here, and you have this very small window of using the thing you've spent your entire life building, and you've got the fear of doing the exact thing you want to do, which is not outliving the money, but then maybe doing it too quickly. Right? So I started learning and realizing that the wealthy, they don't invest in Wall Street. They don't buy what I would consider retail financial products. They're not putting their money in the 401k plan and waiting till they're 60 years old. They're doing something different. And the stuff that they're doing predates all of these things that we're being taught. Right? Now, my story doesn't stop there. Okay, so I became a multimillionaire by the age of 30. I was almost financially independent. And I was doing all of these different alternative investments and real estate and things. And a fund that I invested in, a real estate investment that I invested in, they were invested in another funds. Like, funds are allowed to invest in funds. That fund committed fraud. Right? And what happened is the majority of my investments disappeared overnight. Right? And so there's these things you have to know about in order to win the wealth game. right? There's no one-shot answer. There's no, oh, I learned about it once, I read the book once, and I'm done. No. This is a constant thing. We have to learn money matters. I learned that when I was 18 or 19 through being in poverty, right? We then have to learn, okay, what are the basics? And I learned that once I started becoming a licensed financial advisor, right? And then I learned, well, you can't get wealthy on the basics. What are the wealthy doing? We've got to look at the people who are doing this, and we've got to say, okay, how do we do this? And then start doing the things that they do as well. And we have to do all of that while working within the game and the infrastructure and the tools and the people and the systems based on reliability. Things that are proven, so that we don't build our tower up all the way to the top and have it knocked over by somebody else. Mm-hmm. Right? So this is my backstory, and that's why I'm qualified to talk to you today. I've been through all of it. Right? I've done everything. I've read all the stuff. I've done all the things. I've gone through it myself. So I'm able to answer questions from a place of experience. Right? And so that's what I want to do today. Sam, if you could quickly just give us kind of your background with money too, and you know, some of your viewpoints that you want to make sure people get this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't have a story quite like yours, Jerry, but that's okay. But similarly, I did, watch my parents split up over finances. My dad was actually sent to go work for years at a time, so I didn't see him majority of my childhood. And I had always been very angry about money. And I was like, I don't want to live my life like that. I refuse to. So I really didn't know anything about finances. I started working at Wealth Dynamics actually beginning in the training area. And that was something that I felt good about, comfortable. I was like, I don't know about finance, but I can help train people. That's not a problem. But in working at Wealth Dynamics, obviously, I read your books, like The Blueprint to Financial Freedom, How to Create Wealth, and just started educating myself on all of the Wealth Dynamics materials. And even, then I even read Nelson Nash's Becoming Your Own Banker and Understanding the Sacred Account and all these things. And it made sense to me. And I was like, this is how I don't end up like how my parents did, because now I'm married, I have a son. So through my knowledge increasing in Wealth Dynamics and just helping clients and learning more because I had to be able to assist them. I opened a sacred account for myself and my son. He was 6 months old at the time. And so I was like, wow, I'm partaking in generational wealth. Like when my son is 18, he's going to be pretty set up. And being able to do that is probably one of the things I'm most like blown away by, because I never thought that could even be possible. It's definitely not something I had set up for me. So the fact that I'm able to do that for my son is incredible. And I see, like, in helping our clients every single day and the things that they've been able to accomplish, going from, being in debt, paycheck to paycheck, to the point where they're paying off their cars or paying off their houses, being able to invest. It's just an incredible, incredible thing. So, and I know it is possible because I have seen it over this time. Like people, I think everyone has that idea, like money is hard and, we're stuck in this machine, this cogwheel, but you can break free of it. And it's very, very possible as long as you're getting the knowledge.
Absolutely. Now, guys, again, show of hands, who related to anything that Sam and I said? I want to see who has had similar experiences, who has had similar struggles. Right? Who is in a position where they're having the same realization of this matters, and I wanna really focus on winning with finances in my life now. Right? So here's the thing. If your hand is up, right? If your hand is not up, I want your hand up, because you should definitely have some sort of reality, and yeah, that is something I've experienced also. But guys, here's the thing. We're gonna face money in this life anyways. No matter what, that is a guaranteed certainty. You will face finances. You will face financial decisions. You will face the repercussions of those decisions. It is going to happen. Do you want to be doing it from a place of being financially savvy and having the right knowledge and information, right? And doing it from a place of planning ahead rather than dealing with the past or the immediate present all the time? And then doing it not alone. Because I can tell you what, when I started all this, if I would have had the right information from the get-go, I would have had better results sooner. I would have avoided the pitfalls. I wouldn't have lost money on investments. I wouldn't have been a financial advisor peddling Wall Street products for so many years. I would have just said, this is what I need to do. Boom, I'm jumping into action. I'm going to now do it, right? If I would have had a plan, a laid out strategy on, okay, what do I do and when do I do it? How do I do it? Okay, that also would have helped. And then one thing I can tell you is if you're on this webinar and you're serious, I consider you a future top 1%er, which is awesome. Here's the thing though, 1% is very lonely. You need to know the other people in that community because not everyone in your life is going to understand this. You have to understand if you're watching this and it's resounding with you, you're a very small percentage of the population. You are special and you are different. Most people aren't going to watch a webinar on Saturday to learn about their finances. They just aren't. And that's fine. And we don't need to make them wrong about it. But what that means for you in your life is when you start to pursue this, this is not a conversation you're probably going to be able to have at the Thanksgiving dinner table next week with your family. They're going to talk about football. They're going to talk about what they did last weekend, what movie they recently watched, what music they're listening to, right? The hottest gossip about whoever is involved in their lives. That's the stuff they're going to talk about. They're not going to talk about how do you invest for passive income. They're not going to talk about how do you get completely out of consumer debt in half the time that you're on now and make money on doing it. They're not going to talk about how do you put together a tax plan that saves you $90,000 on your tax bill. So you need someone to talk to as well. You need a community, and that's really what this is about, right? So what I want to dive into, the first thing, guys, is we do have an offer for you today, and I like to be transparent about that. Don't worry, we're not getting rich off of this, but this is, if you're watching this today, this is the next logical step as we dive into the education on what you can do to start getting into the things that we're doing, right? How do I start to learn? How do I start to apply this? So this is the next logical step as we dive into the education on what you can do, right? Now, what is it getting into the things that we're doing? How do I start to learn? How do I start to apply this? So what this is going to be is typically this is a $99 course. We have a Christmas offer going on where you're going to be able to get what is it teaching into $25 course. How do I start to learn? How do I start to apply this? So what this is going to be is typically this is a $99 so the coupon code for that, and I'm going to have Brianna post where you're able to get this what is it teaching as well as the link. Grab this, right? There's huge savings. So what this is going to be is typically this is so the coupon code for that HTC Xmas. I'm hearing that there's something wrong with my audio. Can you guys all hear me?
Yeah, I think it was sharing the stream as well at the same time.
Oh, it's in the same browser. That's why. You guys can hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So the link, I'm gonna have Brianna post the link. I'm gonna have her post the coupon code. It's HTC Xmas. Right, and I'm gonna just detach this and mute it. That's what it was. This needed to be muted. Okay, good. Let me share this again now so that you guys have the ability to actually see this and hear it properly. Okay, so I want to go over some of what this is going to include. We're going to cover some very valuable points for you today. We're not going to cover everything, right? You're going to hear, some things that are going to inspire you. They're going to give you things you can take action on. The goal is that you use this stuff. When I was 19 years old and I got into the financial business, a mentor of mine who was making about $500,000 a year at the time said, Jerry, if you learn something and you don't use it within 24 hours, you need to basically admit and realize that knowledge is now gone forever. Whether that's true or not, it served me really well over the last 15 years or so of my life. Right? It's something where I actually still do that today. And anyone that knows me can tell you when Jerry learns something, he freaking does it that day. He does not wait. And I want you to be the same way, right? So what does this include? $25. This includes the How to Create Wealth ebook. Okay. So you're going to get the ebook so you can study that. This is going to be a 13 module mini course that will take you through, taught by me, on how do you implement what you're learning in each chapter. Right? There's a PDF supplement that you'll get. And then this also includes access to our Facebook community. Okay. So if you use the coupon code, if you go here to the page and you use the coupon code HTC Xmas, again, that's going to give you this course for $25. And for those of you that are watching today, we also will throw in free coaching with Brianna, meaning she'll do a one-on-one with you and coach you through the course and help you implement what you're learning. Right? So I'm going to revisit that a couple of times throughout today. Now, I want to dive into some content here. Who's ready for some education? Right, let's see show of hands. Who's ready for some information today that's going to help change your viewpoint on finances? Right? Clearances, we got a few others. Now, here's the vision for my company, guys, and this is very important, right? Living in the future, this is where your brain should be at. So I want you thinking about your vision. What does the vision look like for your life as well? Right? So my vision is to help millions of families and individuals and entrepreneurs financially fund a life of abundance and prosperity in all dynamics of life, all areas of life. Right? So I want to see a world where the majority of wealth is controlled by good people, and those good people use the wealth to make the world a better place. Right? So if you're a good person, you qualify. Right? I don't want to help assholes. We already know what happens when assholes get too much money. The problem is not enough good people have the money. Wealth doesn't make people evil. It makes you more of what you already are. That's the first thing I want you to do today is if you had the idea that getting wealthy might make me a bad person, it might make me evil, I want you to remove that from your brain, and I want you to instead insert it with wealth enhances what you already are. If somebody was a terrible person before they had money, money is just going to give them the opportunity to be a more terrible person. If you have good intentions and you're a good person before having wealth, it's just going to help you be more of that. Right? So if you're a good person, I want to help you build more wealth, and I want to help you help make the world a better place. Right? Now, Sam, can you hit some of these statistics that we see here and just kind of your viewpoint on what you see in the world around you, especially as you're interacting with clients as it relates to this, and how you've seen help being brought to people?
Yep. Okay, so on financial education, 53% of US adults experience financial anxiety. I mean, I would even say it's more than that, but definitely is something people are concerned about or feel anxious about, questions, want help. Financial solvency, 2 in 3 US families lack an emergency fund. That's definitely true. You know, you have an emergent trip or medical or something like that, and you have to figure out borrowing money. That definitely comes up. Financial freedom, 60% of non-retirees don't think their investments are on track. That's absolutely true because in a lot of cases, you can't control it. You don't know what's happening with it. You can't touch it. So it's just this thing over there that you're hoping will work out. And it says only 33.4% of Americans have professional financial guidance. So yeah, that's another thing. Unless you have someone helping you, you have the knowledge, you're getting it for yourself, you're not going to get very far. And I've definitely seen that as well, where people, you know, have come on as clients and they almost 100% of the time say, I wish I knew about you 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and things would have been a lot different.
Guys, and Sam's totally right, but I want to check this. I want to have you check this out. I want you to look at the correlation. 2 in 3 US families lack an emergency fund. Right? What is 2/3? 2/3 is 66%, right? So that's about 2/3 of people, right? So we have this stat here. 60% of non-retirees don't think that their investments are on track. Okay, so we have this one here, which is 2/3. 60% is about 2/3. Right? So we have 2/3 of people who are admitting they lack an emergency fund. They do not have reserves and savings. Okay, I've been there. It's scary as hell. We have 2/3 of people who are admitting they're saying we don't think we're on track to even be able to retire. Okay, now here's the difference. 1/3 of people don't think this. 1/3 of people do have an emergency fund, right? That's the basic math. If 2/3 don't, then 1/3 does. Okay, 1/3 of people, they do think their retirement's on track. Okay, what is 1/3? 1/3 is 33%. So what is the difference maker there? 33% of people have professional financial guidance. The ones that have somebody helping them are on track. The ones that don't aren't on track. Right? Who could see and agree with that? Who's experienced that with whether it's finances or any area? Like when you have help, when you have education, when you get the right info, it's easy. You're on track. Things are much more sane and normal and organized, and you're like, I know what to do. I've got guidance. Right? Show of hands if you've experienced that. Right? Now, here's the issue. The issue is not only that there's not guidance, but the issue is also you're being guided to the wrong thing. There's 2 ways to go about this money thing. We've got deferral lifestyle, right? Deferral lifestyle looks like this: serve 40 to 60 hours per week, serving the 40-year to life sentence, trading your time for money to hopefully retire and die before the money runs out. That's the plan that most of America is being told to be on. But now I want to point out the people who own the banks and own the Wall Street firms and own the companies that you're being told to give your money to here, they don't do that plan. They're not deferring their life till they're 60. Right? So what's the other option? The other option is financial independence, which means achieving passive income from investments that exceeds savings, expenses, and taxes, so we can live life now and not be obligated to trade time for money. Okay. Now, I want to pause right here. Who has heard, read, or seen some kind of content saying jobs are evil, live only off passive income, right? Like this is something that I see and hear often, where it's like, you want to have just investment income and you shouldn't have to work, and having a job is for losers and you don't want to trade time for money. Who has heard this kind of stuff? Okay, show of hands, be honest. I want to see some interaction and some engagement. Who's heard this? I hope more than 2 people have. Mike has heard it, Shelly's heard it, Cheyenne has heard it. Who else? Right? Now, here's the problem. I want you to visualize this in the future. You wake up and your bills are all paid for, right? Everything's covered. The mortgage is handled, your car is handled, your food is handled. You don't have to think about anything. Now, the other part of this is you have nothing to do today, right? Who's ever had a lazy day? I have. It's nice sometimes. I stayed home in my PJs. Okay, but imagine that that's every day for the rest of your life. Who can agree with me that that is not fun? That I would get bored very quickly. Sam, how would you feel if it was like every day you just wake up and you have nothing to do and no responsibility for anything?
Very, very boring.
I wouldn't like that. I would be like, what is the point of this? This sounds terrible, right? So I'm going to whiteboard this out because I've not heard many people talk about this. This is my belief, right? So we all live on planet Earth. Right? This is my little planet Earth drawing. We've got all these countries and shit happening here. We live on planet Earth together, right? As an individual, what happens on this planet really actually impacts me and my future, right? Like if somebody causes a new disease, that impacts my future. If somebody goes to war, that impacts my future. If we kill the planet with global warming and pollution and all this stuff, that impacts my future. Right? The other aspect is those people, those kinds of things that could happen that impact my future are caused by other people. Right? So you've got these guys over here that are doing stuff to this planet, and it all impacts my future. It impacts your future. Right? There's no way around that. That's going to have an impact. Okay? Now, when you think wealth, and we talked about this already, you think about a wealthy person, the stereotype that's given is typically an evil top 1%er who is doing bad things to the planet, right? I've heard stories of there's a guy who wants to own the water supply. And I'm like, why? Like, give me one reason why an individual should control everyone's water. Okay, I've heard of Bill Gates trying to block the sun. Like, he's trying to create a technology to block the sun. Why? Why would we need Bill Gates to be able to block the sun? So we have these few people where we think of them as the 1%. Right? And it's kind of like The Simpsons. You guys have seen The Simpsons, right? There's that evil old rich guy that's always doing bad stuff with his money. So that's the connotation we have of wealthy people. That's the one I had. I was like, wealthy people, they ripped people off to get there. They're bad. They're evil, right? I don't want to be one of those, right? So what this means is that when we have the majority of money going to bad people, that results in bad things happening to us and our planet, right? We have bad stuff where we have wars, we have, disease, we've got, all sorts of stuff happening. Who would agree with that? The more money the bad people have, there are people on this planet who have bad intentions. The more money that they have, the worse things are for everyone, right? We can probably all agree with that. Who's experienced that? I've seen that with my own eyes, okay? So then logic stands to reason. The more money that goes to good people is very complicated, so I want you to follow closely. More good stuff happens to us and to our planet. right? We've got all this good things like, positive experiences and good stuff and innovations and solutions and all of this, right? So your goal is not to retire. Currently, this is not the state of things. If you look at the planet, it's not doing well, right? Like we have a lot of crazy stuff happening all over the world that's not good, right? We can all agree with that. So we're not in a condition where the majority of wealth is owned by good people, right? The majority of wealth is controlled by those that don't have great intentions, and we can see that in the world around us. Okay, does that mean that we're going to hell in a handbasket? No, but it means there's wars happening that shouldn't be happening. There's diseases and pandemics that shouldn't be spread, right? There's hate, there's violence, there's divisiveness, there's pollution, there's homelessness, there's, lack of quality water, lack of quality food. Over 1 billion people on this planet can't read or write. What are we doing about that? Right? So it's kind of like you're sitting on the sideline, right? And you see all this stuff happening and you're like, but I'm going to go to the beach instead. Okay, guys, I can't do that. I am not that person. Sam, you're probably the same. If you see a problem, you're like, I need to get involved. I need to help.
Absolutely.
Okay, who's aligned with this on this? Like you see something bad, someone being taken advantage of, someone being harmed, something being injured, and you're like, I need to get involved. I need to help. Right? I need to contribute. I need to go make sure that person, that group, that thing is okay. Even if I don't fully know what I'm doing, my intention and desire still is to help. Right? Retirement isn't that. Retirement is, I clocked my time. I did my work. Right? I paid my hours out. I did the 40 years. I'm going to go travel and enjoy. And there's nothing wrong with this, but I'm saying we're in a game right now on a planet together that's not doing well. Right? Good intentions backed by resources equals solutions. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Good intentions backed by resources equals solutions. Mm-hmm. Right? Good intentions without resources equals nothing. Right? If I really want to help, but I can't. I don't have the ability to. Right? Similarly, resources not backed by good intentions doesn't equal help. It equals no solution still. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, here's the thing. When I said that, you guys are probably thinking about the bad people. No. The percentage of people who could help and won't is greater than the bad people who have the money. There are more people who could be involved, who could be doing the right thing, who could be contributing that aren't, because we were taught, you're retired now. Stay off of, you sit on the sideline. You go to the beach every day. You tour the United States in your RV. You don't help. You were done. That's what you did. That was the 40 years you just spent. That was your help. Like, you're too old now. Okay? Did you know the concept of retirement came from a German dictator? I think his name was Otto von Bismarck, and he came up with the idea that when you turn 65 or 70, you're no longer valuable in the workplace and there's a fixed amount of jobs. So we need to get these guys out of the workplace because the jobs aren't available and we need more jobs so the young people can take over. Okay, anyone can relate to this? You've sat down maybe with your grandparents or someone's grandparents or an older person, and you realize how much wisdom and life experience they have. Why in the world would we want them out? Okay, and if that concept was so on point, why is the average age of a Congress member so high? Guys, some of these people, when you look at politicians, they look like they're going to die right there in the Senate area. Like they're going to croak right on the spot. They go up to the podium. They might just fall face first in the microphone. They're freaking old. Right? So the people who rule us, they don't apply this retirement concept. If you look at the net worth of Congress, Sam, have you ever checked this out online? The net worth of the Congress in the United States? They're all 1%ers. Right? And they're in public office. It's like, how the hell did Nancy Pelosi become worth $200 million as a politician? Right? But it's an outness. I'm showing you guys that they're not practicing what they preach. We're being told one thing and it's not what's happening. So my goal and my vision is, if you're a good person, your job is to build wealth, and then it is to help make this world a better place. Mm-hmm. Right? And the reason that you can't right now is because you trade your time for money doing something that probably isn't your life purpose. right? I'm lucky. Sam's lucky where we're on purpose with what we do. But I know people where they're like, yeah, I hate my job, but it pays the bills. Okay, be honest, anyone in that boat today? I hate my job, but it pays the bills. If I didn't have to, I wouldn't clock in on Monday. I wouldn't keep doing it. Who can relate to that? Show of hands. And I've been there. I had a pizza job, guys, that I hated. I didn't like it. I didn't like going to work every day. Right. And the other factor is maybe I did like it, but it didn't pay me enough to really do much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't actually make a difference on the income because I was capped. Right. So the goal here is not, basically barely make it for the next 40 years and then save up this nest egg so that you can retire and be on the sidelines. The goal is, how do you align your purpose and your money? Okay, this is a trick, guys, and this is a huge piece of education I'm giving. How do you align your purpose and your money? The first thing you would need to do is you would need to know about those two things. Right? Wouldn't you? You would need to know about what is your purpose. You need to understand that, and you need to understand what is money and how does it work. If I don't know about those things, I'm not going to be able to control them and put them in alignment with each other. Mm-hmm. Which is why the education is so big, right? So I'm gonna blitz through a couple of things here. Me and Sam are on the fact of education. Okay. Now here's the result of the current system. 5 out of 100 people will be secure at retirement age. 5%, 95% failure rate. 95% failure rate. Imagine if your car had a 95% failure rate. Would you drive it?
No.
Right? Sam, imagine if I was a doctor and I had a 95% failure rate. Would you come to me with you or with Dante or with Kevin?
No, I'd go somewhere else.
So, and I would too. I don't blame her, right? That's a pretty poor rate. Now, we can blame this on the system. We can blame this on Wall Street. We can blame this on banks. But here's the thing. If you're blaming it on these people, it means you went to them in the first place. Mm-hmm. Like Sam said, she wouldn't go to me if I had that kind of rate. 95% failure rate, she'd find a different doctor. Most people go to the doctor anyways. Why? Because everyone else does. So taking responsibility and saying, if I am one of these 95 that's not financially secure or not on track to be financially secure, the first thing I need to do is I need to change my information. I need different information, right? Now, here's the thing about the information. In 2022, only 23 states in the entire United States of America required financial literacy to be taught in school. Only a third of Americans can pass a financial literacy test. Okay, that's another third. What was also a third? A third of people who had financial guidance. So we can see a third of people are financially literate and a third of people have financial guidance, and a third of people have an emergency fund, and a third of people feel they'll be financially secure in the future. So what are the factors? If you have financial literacy and you have guidance, you will be financially secure, more likely than those who aren't. Right? The average US adult can only correctly answer 52% of the questions on the Personal Finance Index exam. Right? So here's a couple of things that I want to show you guys today. Right? So this is the trick. This is a cool one. So we have investor A, investor B. So Sam, let's say I'm investor A and you're investor B, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we both invest. I sit down with my financial guy and I invest. Sam, she goes and she sees Wealth Dynamics, right? We each have $10. So I put mine in the financial system and we're earning, we're investing in stocks and bonds and mutual funds and whatever. Sam goes to Wealth Dynamics and we connect her with our team and Wealth Dynamics helps Sam with investing also, right? Mm-hmm. Now, both of us, we look at our statement and it says we made a 10% return, right? $10 at 10%, $10 at 10%, right? Now, here's the thing. My 10% looks like this. Year one, I put my money in, I made 50%, right? 50%. So I now have $15. And I'm talking to Sam, we're at lunch one day, and I say, Sam, I have $15 in my account. I put in 10 and I've got 15 already, right? And Sam's like, oh, I have $11.05, yeah. Right? On just that conversation, Sam, how do you think you'd feel initially?
I'd feel a little bit gypped. Like, is he doing the right thing?
Yeah, I mean, I made $5. She made $1.05. Now, year two, I lost 50%. So my $15 gets cut down to $7.50.
Yeah.
Right? Now I sit down and I meet with Sam again for lunch. I have $7.50. Sam now has $12.20. How you feeling now, Sam?
I feel that what I'm doing is a lot more stable.
Good. Now, year 3, I make 50% again. Again, I'm like, wow, my portfolio just went up 50% again. Sam, she made 10%. And I'm going to lunch and I'm like, man, I'm gonna tell Sam, she's over there just making her 10%. I made 50. I made 50. And I sit down with Sam and I say, I made 50. Now Sam asks me one important question. Yeah, but Jerry, how much money do you have?
Yep.
Because we can't pay bills with percent signs. We pay them with dollar signs. And I tell Sam, well, I have $11.25. And Sam says, cool, I have 13.48. Right? Now we have the next year, I lose 50 again. And I'm starting to wonder, like, what's happening? It seems like every couple years I lose half my portfolio. And Sam just makes her 10. Year 5, I make 50 again. And I'm like, okay, I started with 50. I ended with 50. I've got to be in a good position now. And I sit down with Sam and I meet with her, and she's got $16.45. Right? I have half of that. Okay. And the reason why, if I look at this, I made 50, I lost 50. So that cancels out and that's 0. I made 50 and I lost 50. That cancels out and that makes 0. So I have 50 left over. And if I divide that over 5 years, I did 50 divided by 5. It's 10%, isn't it? And I asked Sam, I said, well, if I do the math, it's 10% a year. And Sam says, well, I did 10% a year.
Yeah.
Right? The question is 10% of what? Because when you lose money, think about it. If I go down from 15, to 750, I can't just make the 50% back. Right? 50% of 750 only gets me to 1125. So I need to actually double that. I need to make 100% back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it takes you twice as long to make money back when you lost it. So I lost money, not to mention, this doesn't include the fees I paid because I'm working with Wall Street. Right? I would have paid 49 cents in management fees for them to lose my money. Right? Sam, on the other hand, 10% return. She gained 655. Right? Sam, when we work with clients on self-directed accounts, what do they pay in fees usually?
You mean prior?
Like with our accounts, when they do like a self-directed account or something like that.
There's a one-time yearly fee and that's it.
So they pay like $400 a year for an account. So if you've got a large account, that's a very small percentage. Wall Street typically is going to charge 3 to 5% per year in hidden and non-hidden fees. Right? That's a lot of money. Okay. Now the other thing here is, like, I want to show you guys the cost here. This is the breakdown of that, right? So this is done by Anderson Business Advisors. They're a law firm out of Nevada. So they looked into this and they found the average expense ratio for a Wall Street funds is anywhere between 4 and 5.82% annually that you pay in fees. And these are the listings of all the types of fees, right? Now, here's the thing is this is also something that it takes you, starting correctly, but starting as soon as you know the information. Okay, I don't know if you guys have seen this before. So check this one out, guys. We got 2 people, Ben and Arthur. Let's pretend this is Jerry and Sam, right? So Jerry's over here. Sam is over here, right? So Sam starts investing at the age of 19 and she does $2,000 a year and she's making 12%. Right? She invests from 19 to age 26, and then she stops and she never puts another dime in. Right? So if we look at that, she puts in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So she puts in a total of $16,000. Never puts in another dime. Right? Now I waited. I was busy. Right? Life didn't happen the way I wanted to, whatever the reason was. I didn't have the education. So I didn't start until Sam stops. Sam stops at age 26. That's when I start. And I invest $2,000 a year, every year from age 26 to age 50. Right? If we look at that, 50 minus 26, that's 24 years. I put in $2,000 a year. So I put in 48,000 bucks. Right? Now, $48,000 invested for 24 years at 12%. You would think that I would have more money, right? But think about this and check this out. Because Sam started early and she never puts in another dime for the rest of her life, her money gets the compounding interest and the growth. By the time Sam's 50, Sam only put in 16,000, but Sam has 418 grand in her account. Right? I missed those first couple of years, and I did put in a lot more money. I put in 48,000, and I did put money in longer. That's true. But I have almost half of what Sam has. So when somebody's watching this and they're saying, I'm not ready yet, I want to wait, I need to learn more, I want you to realize that that's how much it's costing you. Right? Oh, I don't want to spend $25 on a course. I want to wait. It's not about $25 on a course, guys. This course that we're offering, and I'm going to clean my screen up here. This course that we're offering, again, if Bree, if you could put this in the chat, this course that we're offering, the $25 course, this is designed to give you the basics you need so that you can start making progress, whether you work with us or not. It's my responsibility to share what I know with you. Right? So if you're worrying about $25, you're worrying about the wrong thing today. You need to be worrying about the difference between 264,000 and 418,000. How much is it costing you right now in the future to not be operating with the information that you're learning today? What is the dollar cost on that? Because there is one, and it's not going to be small, right? Now, I'm going to skip through a couple of these. Okay, this is Warren Buffett, right? Now, Warren Buffett has a quote, and he says, if poor people would just do what rich people do, they wouldn't be poor anymore. Right? Who's ever been to the gym? Show of hands. Who's ever been to the gym before? Okay. And who's ever been to the gym and been completely like, I don't know what to do while I'm here. I don't know how the machines work. I don't know how the equipment works. You think maybe you're doing it wrong. Then you see somebody that's very fit and they go over to the exact machine you were using and you see them use it. And then you're like, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to copy them. Like they look good. And I see that they use the machine that way. I'm just going to use the machine that they use, the way that they use it. Okay. Who's had that experience? Right? It can't just be me and Sam. Okay. The same experience applies to money. If I don't know how money works and I'm struggling with figuring it out and I'm not getting results and I'm not seeing what I want from it, I can go look at someone that's doing well in the area. Right? And if I copy them, just like with the machine at the gym, I'm going to get similar results. Mm-hmm. Right? Warren Buffett is saying here, he's saying, guys, just copy us. Just copy what we're doing with our money. Now, here's the difference. Back to what I said at the very beginning. The only reason why someone would not copy the wealthy and do what the wealthy are doing is because they haven't aligned their money and their purpose. We don't know that Warren Buffett has aligned his money and his purpose. We don't know that. Warren Buffett could be, some grouchy old man who hates everyone. I've never met the guy, right? But we look at what these people do in their lives and the choices that they make, which isn't the fault of money. Money amplifies who someone already is, but we look at the decisions that they make, their morals, how they act, and we're like, I don't want that, therefore I don't want money. Those two things are not linked. Money makes you more of what you already are. So if you link your purpose and you link it with money, it's going to help you fulfill that purpose. If your purpose is to buy a yacht so that they have to upgrade a bridge so that you can get through it, that's not a very high purpose. If your purpose is to end pollution in water, that's a very high purpose. Mm-hmm. You should have more money. Right? But here's the thing. Nobody's going to give it to you. Nobody's going to give it to you. And the stuff that we're teaching you today, it competes with banks, it competes with Wall Street, and it competes with the IRS. They get less money when you follow the things that we teach our clients. Mm-hmm. So do you think that there's incentive for you to know about these things? No, there's not. Because it takes business away from people who make money off of our lack of knowledge, right? So this comes down to education. Again, if we copy the wealthy, if we do what the wealthy do, we'll be able to have similar results. That's all Warren Buffett is saying. So here's a fact. Warren Buffett studies 5 to 6 hours a day. One of the wealthiest guys on the planet and has been for a very long time, and he studies 5 to 6 hours a day. Right? Bill Gates reads 50 plus books per year. Mark Zuckerberg reads a book every 2 weeks. Right? Now, we're not asking you to do that. We're not asking you to spend 5 to 6 hours a day. You have a family, you have a job, you have responsibilities. Nobody has time for that. right? But can you do an hour a week? An hour a week is 10 minutes a day, right? Can you do an hour a week, 10 minutes a day? If you did an hour a week, 10 minutes a day, what I am telling you is with this $25 course that we're offering today, the How to Create Wealth course, you would probably get through it in a week. And in a week, you would have information that you can either work with us on or do entirely your own thing with. It doesn't matter. We don't care what you do with it. We want you to have the information and be winning with it, because our goal is more people who are doing well on this planet and doing good on this planet with money. Right now, we'll help you, and that's something we'll say, hey, good, now that you know it, let's support you and get you through and achieve your goals, right? But you've got to make the investment of time, and you've got to make the investment of money. Okay, now let's be honest, and I want to kind of go through this with some humor. What are some things that currently you spend at least an hour a week doing and at least $25 on? Right, let's see it in the comments. Sam, do you think it's reasonable that people spend $25 a week on coffee?
Yep, definitely.
Okay, so that's maybe one coffee. You go to Starbucks, $25, that's 4 times of going to Starbucks. Right? What about an hour a week? Do you think it's reasonable, guys, that we spend an hour a week mindlessly scrolling on our phones? Right? You're like, an hour? I don't do that. No, it's 10 minutes a day. If you did 10 minutes a day of scrolling mindlessly on your phone, that's an hour a week. What if you could change your life financially with that same time? Right? Sam, what are some other things you think that are realistic that people do with either the time or the money on a regular basis?
Well, Jeffrey put in the chat Netflix, which is absolutely true.
Yeah. Netflix. What else, guys?
Going to restaurants.
Restaurants. True. Right? Whoever just like spaces out. You're not doing anything. You're just a vegetable for 10 minutes. Right? That could be one for sure.
Yep.
Right? So guys, here's what I'm saying. Nothing in your life changes till you do something you change on a daily, or till you change something that you do on a regular basis. Your life will not change until you change it. Right? And the life you want starts with education. Right? So what I want to see is, I want to see who would like to get this course today. Okay, if you'd like to get the course, I'm going to post the link in the chat with the coupon code. And what I can tell you is, if you get the course today, we can have you signed in, ready to go, winning with the material, right? And in touch with you to coach you through it. Okay, so I want to find out who is going to grab this offer. It's $25. It's going to give you 13 segments of How to Create Wealth e-course, the ebook. It's going to give you the PDF resources, access to our online community, coaching with Brianna, so that you can start to make the right moves financially. Okay, now I want to give you some of the topics that are in this. This is just the book, right? So you get the e-copy of this book plus the actual course itself, right? So here's some of the chapters. Okay, so the first chapter I want to bring up, there's a chapter called How Much Money Do You Need to Be Financially Independent? Okay, who would like to know that number? Who would like to realistically calculate that number and know, what's my target? What do I actually need? And it's different for everyone. Who feels that knowing that number would be valuable?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who feels that knowing that number in your life would be worth more than $25 in an hour of your time? Okay, Clarence is saying, Mike's saying it, Cheyenne, Jeremiah, right? I agree. So that's an important number for you to know. If you think that that's important, I would get the course. Go to the link in the comments and grab the course, right? There's another one in here. It is called Where to Invest, right? Where to invest. Who would like to know, okay, I know my number. Where do I invest in order to get that number? Where I'm not giving it to Wall Street. I'm not giving it to the banks. I'm not overpaying the IRS. I'm not, exposed to unnecessary loss, fraud, volatility in the markets, all the things that people do. Who feels that would be important information to know? Okay, Cheyenne says yes. Mike says yes. Cassania says yes. Right, Richard says yes. Okay, so that's where to invest, right? There's another chapter in here called Your Wealth is Being Stolen. Your wealth is being stolen. Okay, so if your wealth is being stolen, who here would like to know about that and know How is it being stolen? Who is stealing it? How do I stop them from stealing it? Like, imagine if I had a chapter called Your Car is Being Stolen, addressed to you about the car that's in your garage right now. You'd be like, I'm getting off the webinar. I'm going to my garage right now to check on my car because Jerry Fetta just told me it's being stolen. Okay? Your wealth is more important than your car. If your wealth is being stolen, that is a really big deal. You need to know about that. There's another one. It is called How to Earn Truly Passive Income. Okay, again, show of hands. Who would like to learn how to earn truly passive income? Right, Shelly's saying she does. Mike says she does. Right, so guys, this is what you're learning about in this course. This is what you're learning about in the course. You're getting the ebook. You're getting the video course taught by me, which is 13 segments. It's on our platform, Wealth Dynamics University. Right, and those are things that you're going to be able to then dive into with the assistance of Brianna and with our community backing you and keeping you in touch and accountable and all those things. Right? Now, there's only 2 reasons you wouldn't do this. Right? There's only 2 reasons you wouldn't do this today. The first reason is you don't believe this will actually work. Right? That would be a valid reason. You're like, I don't think this is real yet. What if it doesn't work? How do I know this isn't some kind of a scam? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share this with you guys. This is our reviews page, right? These are recent reviews that just came in. I'm going to go from most recent. We'll read through a couple of these. Okay, this is from Carlos. Carlos actually bought the wealth creation course we're offering today, the $25 course. Carlos says, I purchased the How to Create Wealth training from Wealth Dynamics. It is a comprehensive training on strategies I can apply today to improve my conditions. I highly recommend you take the training. So guys, at this point, I'm going to stop telling you should get the course. I'm going to tell you now, Carlos is telling you should get the course. Okay, Carlos got the course. Carlos is winning with the course. Carlos is saying he took it, he loved it, you should take it too. Okay, what about this one, Lori? I'd known Brianna from a different group, so Lori will work with Brianna on our team. I'd followed her educational snippets for a while before contacting her. She spent a good amount of time talking to me and educating me about the Sacred Account. That's a service that we help with people with to help them become their own bank. And then sent me the blueprint to read. That's another book we offer. Based on that, along with the Zoom webinar I attended, you guys are on that today, I initiated a Sacred Account. Although there are some hiccups along the process, everyone stayed with it. It is now funded. I'm super excited to dive further into the education and now to be able to achieve financial freedom. Thank you. Right, that's from Lori. Right? Tim Howard. Tim says, going into retirement, we had several questions related to what we would do with the 401k we had built up over the years. Right, so Tim realized he doesn't want his 401k with Wall Street. Should we leave it where it was? Should we move it to another investment firm? Can we really effectively manage a self-directed account, or would we need to pay advisors? So they're looking at all these options. What if this? What should we do? I'm not sure, right? After about a month, I retired. We were introduced to the Wealth Dynamics team. We met with Brianna to discuss what a sacred account looked like. We were given the Blueprint to Financial Freedom by Jerry Fetta. After reading the blueprint, we read How to Create Wealth by Jerry Fetta. That's the book in the course we just mentioned. It was clear to us that we could, in fact, manage our financial destiny alone with education from Wealth Dynamics and the team and their online university training platform. So guys, the course that you're going to purchase today is on this platform. You'll study the course 10 minutes a day. Study the course, read the book. Okay, today's Saturday. That means by next Saturday, you could be done. Your life could be changed forever financially with the knowledge you now have. Right? And I can go review after review on this. Right? So this works. This is not my stuff. The reason this works is I've spent the last 13 years of my life, I think is what it adds up to now, studying the top 1% and seeing what did they actually do. This is not my stuff. It's their stuff. But guys, I'm 31, 32 years old. I'd have a major problem if this was my stuff. Right? You would be like, why are we listening to a 31-year-old or a 32-year-old about building wealth? He's got another 50 years before he dies. Let's see what happens. Right? I'm telling you, this is what the Rockefellers have done. This is what Andrew Carnegie has done. This is what the Vanderbilts have done. This is what the Roosevelts have done. This is what Disney did. This is what McDonald's did. Like all these huge names and companies, this is the stuff they're using. So we know it works, which means there's only one other reason you wouldn't do this today. you don't think you're going to use it. You've bought courses before. You've bought books before. You've attended seminars, right? Maybe you didn't even read them. Maybe you didn't even open the book. Maybe you didn't even apply what you learned at the seminar. And you don't want this to be another one of those, right? And you're saying, okay, what is it? Like, I'm going to buy the book. What if I don't read it? What if I don't use it? What if it's another one of those things? What if it's just another failure and I don't know what to do with it, right? So here's the deal. You can decide to change that now. If I was trying to improve my life and I had a habit of buying a book and not reading it, or smoking and I want to stop, right? Or doing anything where I'm like, I want to change this and I'm stuck in a pattern and I can't stop, the first thing I would do is I would make a decision to change.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is I would inform someone that will hold me accountable to that decision. I would make sure other people that wanted me to win knew about my decision and knew that I was struggling with this and knew that I needed help and support, right? That's what we're here for. If you've bought books before and not finished them, if you've gone to courses before and not done what you learned, it's because you lacked accountability and community. And if you connect with us, Brianna is going to be your source of accountability. Our clients, there's hundreds of people you're going to connect with that are the community aspect. But you have to make the decision, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to invest. Now, here's the thing, guys. If you don't have the course yet, you've got to ask yourself, what's my alternative? Right? You can continue doing what you're doing, but is what you're doing going to get you where you want to be? And if it's not, it's illogical to say, I want this. I want to lose weight. I'm unwilling to go to the gym. I'm unwilling to change my eating habits. Right? I want to be smarter, but I'm unwilling to study. I want to improve my relationship with my spouse, but I'm unwilling to listen to them and spend time with them. Right? Sam, what would you tell me if I was watching this webinar today and I'm like, I really want these things. I've been interested. My hand's been up. I agree. And then I'm like, but I'm not going to get the course.
What would I think?
What would you tell me?
I would say, well, then you either don't really want it, or there's some doubt still there, because it's impossible. If you really want to change something, you have to do something. It's, what is it? One of the definitions of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Yeah. Like you have to change something.
I have to change something. So guys, we've got a few things in the comments. I want to open up the chat and the comments here and just answer some questions that have come in. Okay, now if you bought the course, I want to know about it in the comments, and I'm actually going to unmic you, and I want to talk with you and congratulate you and do some quick coaching with you here today as well. Just as a congratulations for investing in yourself and thinking enough about your future to do something about it. Okay. All right, lots of people here to learn today. So Nathaniel says, the more I've learned about finances, the more I want to jump from a high precipice. I'm trying here to reverse that mindset. Okay, Nathaniel, get the course, man. Get the course. If you're learning about this stuff and you're feeling frustrated and you're feeling like there's no hope, you need the information. Okay, I felt that too. When I learned some of this stuff, guys, I was depressed for 3 or 4 days one time because I learned a fundamental about finances, like a true thing that's actually there and happening. And I learned about it and I was like, this is depressing. What do I do? Right? I didn't have an immediate solution. So if you're feeling that way, the answer is you need to get the course. You need the solution. Jeffrey asked about index universal life insurance. Jeffrey, that's a whole different topic. If you're interested in learning about building wealth through life insurance, that is addressed on the course, right? There's an entire segment on it. And then it's also something that we can throw in a free bonus on specifically life insurance. So if you get the course today, the How to Create Wealth course, use the link in the chat that Brianna put up, right? Go there, grab the course, use the coupon code HTCXmas, and that will get you not only the How to Create Wealth course. And guys, this is for anyone. If you buy today, we will send you a training video on how to build wealth using life insurance. And that's free and included. All right, Shelly said she's here today to learn to invest and get a great return. Okay, good. Now, Shelly, the main investment you want to be making right now is knowledge. So the course will give you specifics on things you can start learning about in the world of investing. Okay. But if you invest in your knowledge, that is something that's going to guaranteed help you forever. Right. So I highly encourage you, Shelly, get the course. Lauren says, Jerry and everyone at the Wealth Dynamics inspires me to elevate my mindset in future. That's awesome. Lawrence got the course last time. That's great. I love hearing that, Lawrence. Okay, good. I'm just going through more messages here. Okay, Peter says my dad had those issues. I grew up with that money shame. So guys, that's huge. Like the mindset, like I'm afraid of money, I'm ashamed of money, I don't know what to do, I'm worried about it, it's stressful, right? We said at the very beginning, it was over half the population experiences anxiety when it comes to finances. Right, Stan, remember we related to finances to oxygen?
Yep.
Imagine like half the population experiencing anxiety about breathing. How confused and chaotic would this world be if half of the population was like,
It'd be absolutely insane.
So guys, that's happening with your money right now. Like statistically, more than half of you right now experience some kind of anxiety. I know that if there's 13 people watching live on Zoom and however many on social media, however on the replay, half of you guys right now, if you go in an elevator with 10 people, half of them or more are having a financial problem that they have anxiety about. All right, good. Very good comments coming in. If you have questions about the course, please ask those in the chat. Kay says, I was hoping to learn more about Roth 401k rollovers and mega backdoor conversions. Okay, Kate, so this is on the course. So there's a part here, it's a chapter, it's called the 401k lie. There's another chapter called What Do You Do If You Have a 401k? And then another chapter that says, what should I do with the money I used to contribute? Right? So, Kate, I would grab the How to Create Wealth course that will answer that question for you. Nathaniel says he wants to help. He never knew how to proceed. So, Nathaniel, I hope you got the course, dude. Get the course if you've not done that. Guys, if you've not gotten the course, go to the link that Bria has in the chat right now. Okay, go to the link, open it up, fill out the cart, put in the coupon code, right? You'll get a discount of $75 on the course. It's 25 bucks. And then you'll be able to start. We'll get you started this weekend and you'll start learning and changing. If you've got the desire to help, it is my mission that you get there. It is so important to me that you get there. You need to start with education. Okay, the stuff you're going to be able to help with, it's advanced. You're going to need to learn about it and it's going to start somewhere. So this course will give you the basics. We can proceed from there, right? But I highly recommend you get the course. Jeremiah says, I'm currently studying to become a life insurance broker. I'm looking to Wealth Dynamics to help me utilize the knowledge of insurance and build a financial roadmap to independence. I also want to be in your shoes and to be able to assist others as well. Awesome. Jeremiah, definitely connect with us. If you haven't gotten the course, do that. Good. So guys, again, Bree put the link in the comments here. Jeffrey asked, do you sell IUL policies? Jeffrey, again, I would jump into that. We'll send you the life insurance training video on how to build wealth with life insurance, and that'll cover the different things you can do. Especially how do you set up a sacred account? That's something that would be covered with you. Mike asked, does that include the other bundle I saw in the email? Does it include the same book? I saw the book was, but I'm not sure about the video mods. I'm not sure which email, Mike. This is the main bundle that we offer. So this will give you the How to Create Wealth video, the ebook, the online materials, and then also coaching with Bree. So I would definitely grab that one, Mike. That's probably the one you saw in the email. We typically will send that one out. Okay, so Richard asked the comparison of starting at an earlier age compared to a later age, taking advantage of compound interest is really good and it works for young people. What about for older people like 50 plus years old? Awesome question, Richard. Dude, KFC Colonel Sanders, I think he was 76 years old when he came up with the idea for Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? So it's never too late. You do have less time to work with, which means that your resourcefulness and your knowledge needs to compensate for that, right? So Richard, if you don't have the course, that is the place to start, right? That's a really good question. That's a really important question. Mike posted the bundle. Okay, so Mike, that's a different bundle. That's our 90-day challenge. So that is definitely one you could grab. It's a good one. The How to Create Wealth course is a bit of a smaller start, right? So it's not as much that you'll dive into initially. Either one of those are going to be good for you. Jeffrey says, I have 2 IULs. I want to start a sacred account next. Jeffrey, get the course. That'll be your starting point. So use the link that Bree put in the comments. Grab that. Definitely use the coupon code. Okay, good, guys. So those are all the questions that I see. I have a question for you. Who here got the course today so far? Okay, show of hands. Did anyone get the course this afternoon?
There was a couple people that raised their hand before, but they left now, so they might have.
Okay, good. So we've got Clarence, David, Jeffrey, Jeremiah, Lawrence, Mike, Peter, Reggie, Richard, and Sam, right? Good. We did have someone sign up. Okay, awesome. Clarence says we have 5 sacred accounts so far. We haven't used okay, we haven't used Infinite Banking to its fullest potential. This is Nancy. Okay, my husband Clarence is working. We struggled to get on the same page with our finances. That's what's keeping us from moving forward. We watch a lot of podcasts and have tried to identify what makes sense. Okay, good. So Nancy, that's definitely something we can help with. You guys have 5 sacred accounts, which is a good start. If you're not fully utilizing them, the reason for that would be that there was earlier knowledge that's missing. Right? So if I get a car and then I don't drive it the way I know I should be, it's because there was training I should have gotten, didn't. So we're very big on training. So Nancy, I would say today, get the course, get the How to Create Wealth course, right? And I would focus, there's a couple different chapters in there. I would focus on the 40% rule, right? And then I'll also focus on the chapter in the segment, How to Earn Passive Income, right? Now, I would go through this with your husbands. Right, do it together, and don't do it from a standpoint of I'm right, you're wrong. See, this guy says all the things that I believe. Instead, just go through with the idea of, okay, let's talk about after. What do we think? Okay, what questions do we have? And try and find things you guys can agree on. Right, if you find things you can agree on, that'll lead to more cohesiveness with what you're talking about, what you're learning about, and you'll start to get on the same page with more things. Right. So Nancy, that would be my recommendation to you. Okay, Richard got the course. That's awesome, Richard. I love seeing that. Good. Okay, so we have Nancy definitely get the course. You're very welcome, Nancy. David, Jeffrey, Jeremiah, Mike, Sam, let's get you guys signed up today. Let's do it. I want to see that you guys all got on the course this afternoon. Okay, if the $25 is what's holding you back, that is the sign that you need the course. Right? Like if you don't have $25 to spend on learning how to manage your money better, that is a sign that you're not managing your money. Jeff got the course. That's awesome, Jeffrey. Okay, Mike says he's getting it. Mike, if you can do it now, I want to see it come through now. We'll include that free life insurance course, and then I'll send you a free copy of my blueprint book as well. Right? I know you were mentioning the book bundle, so I'll send a free copy of the blueprint book as well. We might need you to cover the shipping on it if that's fine, but if you get the course now, we'll include that for you guys. So those that are still on, we've got David, Jeremiah, Sam, not this Sam, but Sam Joel. Sam has definitely already done the materials and stuff. But guys, the 3 or 4 of you that didn't get the course yet, I don't want you to be the last ones that didn't. Right? This is your chance. How many times have you gotten on a webinar? How many times have you read a book and then your life didn't change? right? And the reason for that is you didn't have a team. You didn't have a team to make sure you're operating with the right information. Right, so I want you to take that chance now. Jeremiah says too often. Come on, man, let's do it, Jeremiah. Jeffrey says $25 is cheap for this knowledge. Invest in yourself. Guys, even Jeffrey is saying we should do it. I want to, Jeffrey, can you unmute yourself? I want to see if I can unmute Jeffrey and have him talk to you guys on this. Hey, Jeffrey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if my video's up, but I don't think it matters.
No, that's totally fine. We can hear you. So you got the course already, right?
Yeah, you never can not invest in yourself. 25 bucks is cheap. I mean, the amount of knowledge that I've learned from you guys and other people, like the Rockefeller's book and the IULs, and if they taught me this stuff 10 years ago, I would have been retired already. So
good, guys. So guys, Jeffrey's telling you that he did it. Okay.
Jerry, you're muted.
Okay, good. So guys, I was muted and talking. Mike just got the course. Jeffrey, thank you for that. So Jeffrey's telling you guys the information he's learning. If he knew it 10 years ago, he would already be financially independent. Think about that. That's not me, and Jeffrey doesn't work for me. I've never spoken to Jeffrey before. Right? Mike just got the course. Mike, I want to unmute you really quick.
Hey, Jerry, what's going on?
Hey, Mike, I'm good. I'm good. Congratulations, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Good. So what is the main thing you're hoping to get out of the course?
So I'm actually life and health licensed as well. And we're sort of connected through another source, Wiley Long Enterprises. I work with them, and that's kind of how I, came about your information. And yeah, it's been something that I've sort of known about over the years, just not have not like focused in or delved into this particular subject as much as I probably should have. But yeah, something I'm definitely interested in pursuing for sure.
Awesome. I love hearing that. And tell Wiley I said hi.
I will.
Awesome, man. Good. So Mike got the course. Who does that leave? We've got Sam, Joel, Jeremiah. Did you get the course? Jeremiah Collins? I'll get the course and reconnect in the next webinar. Jeremiah, don't put this off, man. Procrastination kills dreams. If you've got the $25 and you've got your computer, I would do this now, right? The point of no return. Here's the thing, guys. For those of you that are on still, when you have a goal, you need to be courageous enough just to jump off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you pass the point of no return, you don't need to worry about the mechanics. You're falling and you better figure it out. Right? Commit first and figure the rest out later. So do not add time. Do not think about it. Do not put it off. Those are all the reasons why you're here today.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Putting it off, right? Sam, what would you tell Jeremiah?
I would say don't procrastinate, just do it now. And it'll all figure itself out anyways, because getting that alone is going to help handle any problem that could be stopping you from the get-go.
Absolutely. And guys, this is material that we put a lot of time into, and there's a lot of coaching and help that you're going to get. So most courses, what will happen is, number one, you're going to overpay, right? If you're buying online digital courses, usually they're not $25. They're more than that. You overpay, and then you get the course and it's like, oh, this was just something I could have watched on YouTube by myself, right? And then you don't get really any help or guidance. So we're telling you, A, we're giving you a massive discount if you do this today. Right? B, you're going to get cared for. Brianna's going to reach out to you and actually service you and answer your questions and coach you and make sure that you're really winning with the material. And then C, there are things you can do with it once you've learned it. There's a route to implementation, right? So guys, I think that's all we have for today. We're going to go ahead and sign out. If you were on today, you'll be given a survey at the end of this. So fill that survey out, please. Give us your honest feedback and answers. Thank you guys all so much for watching. We will be back in 2 weeks. Okay, 2 weeks from now with our next one. Have a great Saturday. We'll talk to you next time.